Welcome back to Euro Football Daily. The season is practically over, which means clubs are now fully switching their focus to the summer transfer window, looking to improve their squads ahead of the next campaign. So as you'd expect, there's a lot going on. Let's get straight into it. Let's be honest, there's only one place to start, and that's PSG. As you're well aware by now, Kylian Mbappe has signed a new contract with the French champions, tying him down at the Parc des Princes until 2025. A departure to Real Madrid this summer seemed almost inevitable, but PSG went above and beyond to keep their main man, paying him some 100 million euros a year after tax, as well as giving him input on any management changes and the ability to approve signings, a level of power unprecedented among elite footballers. Naturally, the next discussion concerns the future of those in charge of football operations at the club. Leonardo has been back at the club in his second stint as sporting director since 2019, but was sacked immediately following the club's 5-0 victory over Metz on the final day. Despite being successful in his attempts to keep Neymar in Paris, the former AC Milan director of football's legacy with the club is somewhat tarnished, with them not quite clinching that maiden Champions League trophy. And with Leonardo gone, next in the firing line could be head coach Mauricio Pochettino. It was anticipated that the Argentine, just days after leading PSG to an 8th league title in 10 years, would also be given the sack, although Mbappe refuted that claim in a press conference yesterday. The Frenchman said he has a great relationship with Poch, who has 1 year left on his deal, casting doubt over the reports that he was effectively a dead man walking. Attention therefore turns to who will replace Leonardo, and it seems very straightforward. Luis Campos, who formerly held the same role at Lille, is said to be close friends with Mbappe after helping in his development at Monaco between 2013 and 2016, and is all but guaranteed the job. And while it's now being suggested that Pochettino could stay for 1 more year, and the man himself is saying he's already planning for next season, rumours are still flying around about who might be in the dugout next season. Antonio Conte has been touted as a potential replacement and is the current favourite for the job, having previously suggested he could leave Tottenham if the North London club didn't match his ambition. However, with Spurs having qualified for next season's Champions League, he appears more likely than not to remain in the Premier League. One name that has emerged in the last 24 hours is Sporting CP's Ruben AMorim. The 37-year-old has very quickly risen to the top in Portugal, as just 3 years after taking his debut role with Casapia in the 3rd tier and via a stint with Braga, won the 2020-21 Primeira Liga with Sporting. AMorim is apparently the preference of presumptive new sporting director Campos, but will Mbappe trust his mentor's judgment on this one? As always, we want to hear from you guys. What do you make of the direction PSG are heading in, and who are the best people for the jobs? Let us know in the comments below. Karim Benzema may have put himself forward as the favourite for this year's Ballon d'Or, with his 44 goals across all competitions for Real Madrid, a career high, and 12 better than his next best, which he achieved a decade ago. But his 34 and Los Blancos continue to look to the future for his long-term successor, and with Mbappe staying put at PSG, as well as missing out on Erling Haaland to Man City, Florentino Perez has to turn his gaze elsewhere. And according to Marca, it looks like he is now eyeing up AC Milan's Rafael Leao, one of the top performers for the Rossoneri as they clinched a first Scudetto since 2011. No one contributed more goals than the 22-year-old Portuguese international, who struck 11 times and set up 8 more, both highest amongst his teammates. Having now completed his 3rd campaign at the San Siro following a €23 million move from Lille back in 2019, the attacker has developed from bit part player into key starter, seeing his minutes double since his debut campaign in Italy and his minutes per contribution fall by an hour to 1 every 140 minutes. Valued at €50 million by Transfermarkt and with a contract running until 2024 and reportedly in discussion to extend that by 2 years, Real Madrid might have to act fast and spend a little more than they'd want to on the former sporting man. But with an extra €200 million in the bank this summer as a result of Mbappe's U-turn, such a move is not out of the question. But do Madrid need to find their long-term replacement for Benzema this summer, or are there other positions they need to prioritise? Especially considering that Leao plays on the left for Milan. Get in the comments and tell us what you think. So many sides are looking for a new striker this summer, and you can definitely count Newcastle amongst those. The newly minted Magpies tried signing Rance's teenage sensation Hugo Ekitike in January, and while they had a bid of around €30 million accepted, the attacker opted against a move to the Premier League, stating the timing wasn't right. Well, just 4 months on, and Eddie Howe's side are once again planning to make a move for the France under-20 international, who has netted 11 goals in 27 appearances for Rance this campaign as they ended an unremarkable season in 12th 12th place. However, it might not be plain sailing for the hierarchy at St James's Park to get a deal over the line, as another major European power could come in at the 11th hour. The club in question is Borussia Dortmund, who themselves will have a gaping hole at centre forward once Haaland's move to Manchester City is completed. Ekitike is said to be more keen on a move to the Premier League. However, the opportunity to play Champions League football next campaign with a club that has proven itself time and time again as elite talent developers has to be one that he takes into consideration. If they are pipped to the post for the young star, Newcastle do have a number of other options lined up. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is among them, although Everton's successful attempt to remain in the Premier League could make a move for the £60 million rated marksman more difficult. Also on the shortlist are Chelsea's Armando Broja, who impressed on loan at Southampton this campaign, and 22-year-old Frenchman Amine Aguirre, who has hit double figures in each of the last 2 seasons with Nice. Regardless, it's going to be a very busy summer on Tyneside. Now the 21-22 season has come to a close, it's finally all change at Man United, as Ralf Rangnick heads into a consultancy role and Erik ten Hag takes his seat in the dugout. Transfer rumours have been flying since the announcement was made last month, and here we're going to take a look at some of the defenders they've been linked with. After all, the side conceded 57 goals this season, more than the likes of Brentford, Aston Villa and relegated Burnley. Ignoring the obvious connections between Ten Hag and his former players at Ajax, namely Lisandro Martinez and Jurrien Timber, the most persistent rumour has seen them linked with Villarreal's Pau Torres. The 25-year-old was on the Red Devils' radar long before his side's impressive run to the Champions League semi-final, and has a €65 million release clause in his contract, which runs for another 2 years. The major issue with the move for Torres is that crosstown rivals Man City are also in the race for the 17-capped Spain international, according to Spanish outlet Sport. City believed they were close to landing the centre-back, who has been with Villarreal since he was just 5. Tottenham were also interested in him, and the expectation is that Torres will leave El Madrigal this summer, but where to remains a mystery. Another player that United and Spurs are both interested in is Inter Milan centre-back Alessandro Bastoni. The 23-year-old joined the Nerazzurri for €31 million back in 2017, and after a couple of seasons on loan, became a certified starter in 2019. Of course, Antonio Conte does have a connection with the player as his former manager, and will be hoping to capitalise on that amid rumours that Inter could be open to selling if the right offer comes in. How much would that be, however? Well, according to Calcio Mercato, a very reasonable €45 million to ensure the future of the club's defence. Not bad at all. However, if Man United want a short-term fix with a view to rebuilding the defence in the coming years instead, they could do a lot worse than Kalidou Koulibaly. Napoli's Senegalese enforcer is on the market for just €30 million according to Sport, and although he will have turned 31 by the time the new campaign rolls around, remains one of Europe's most highly rated defenders. The Porto are merely looking to cash in on the man who has made over 300 appearances for the club before he leaves on a free next summer. So United fans, the question here is obvious: who's your number one target for centre-back this summer? As ever, let us know down below. Jurgen Klopp and Michael Edwards plucked Luis Diaz out of Portugal in January, and the move has proved a revelation, with the Colombian hitting the ground running in England with 11 goal involvement since his arrival. So it shouldn't come as too much of a surprise to see the club considering raiding Porto once more, with Brazilian-born Portuguese international Otavio on their shortlist as a potential replacement for the outgoing Divock Origi, according to Portuguese paper A Bola. The 27-year-old joined Porto for €2.5 million in 2014 and has contributed 87 goals in 237 appearances, with the majority of those being assists. In fact, this campaign the winger made 13 assists in league action, the same amount as Mo Salah, who won the Premier League Playmaker of the Year award with his tally. A potential stumbling block, though, is the €60 million release clause in his contract, with Porto likely to hold out for that fee, not being prepared to lose another important member of their squad so soon after Diaz. Is this where you need to strengthen in the summer though, Reds fans? Let us know down below. So that's all we have time for on Euro Transfer Talk for this week. As ever, if you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like and subscribe to EFD if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.